Hi everyone, my name is Louise Young. I'm a makeup artist for film, fashion and television.
And I'm Loulia Sheppard and I'm a hairstylist in the film industry and I do a lot of teaching.
Last year we wrote Timeless, a century of iconic looks, and in these videos we're going to be showing you some of the looks and how to recreate them. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody that bought the book and especially our industry colleagues who really welcomed it with open arms, so thank you for supporting us.
Today we'll be doing several looks of the 1940s taken from the book, and I'm just going to show you how to construct different hairstyles with one basic look.
Makeup wise in the 40s it was actually quite a simple look, but really important to get the shape of the eyebrows and the shape of the lips correct.
This is a basic 1940s look that I'm doing here. I'm using hot sticks to do it, and I think you should always set slightly tighter than you want to comb out, so I'm using the bigger ones on this and not rollers. And as you can see, I'm setting it in the direction that I want the hair to go, so slightly back. Just put a little bit of setting lotion and then you work your way slightly forward, which will give you your wave. And then always keep your parting there, because I always had partings. And what I'm going to do is just set the sides. You see the sides are going in an upward direction. The reason I angle them is because you don't get any section marks from your rollers. That's the back. So as you can see, I've kept the crown area very flat because we don't need any lift, and just taking the rollers down. You can't actually take the first layer in an upward direction because that gives you a dip in your wave when you comb out. But that's basically it really. Just take the sides up at an angle but on an upward direction, and the back keep the flat crown and go straight under, or you can do the first layer going upwards, as I said, to give you that dip.
Base wise, obviously they use things like pancake in the 40s, but I'm just using a base the same colour as Shanice's skin, and I've concealed under the eyes and a loose transparent powder over the top. Brows, this is really important to get the arched brow shape, so I've coloured them in with matte brown powder and an angled brush, and you can see the shape. This is the key thing. If you get it slightly wrong, it looks more modern. And there's lots of reference pictures for this, so really get some. There were different shapes, one or two, but really more like Lauren Bacall. She had a more arched, angled shape, but this rounded shape was very common. Here is the base colour over the eyelid. They kept the eyeshadow very natural on the whole. Sometimes people didn't wear it at all. I'm just using a base colour to smooth out over the eyelid. And then we're going to use a very subtle eyeshadow close to the lashes. And I'm using a liner. This is a cake liner, and it wasn't flicked. This is one of the biggest misconceptions. People do big flicks for the 40s, but that was actually in the 50s they came. So just a liner close to the eyelashes, and you can use a pencil for this, brown pencil, but I'm going to just go over that line to make it an almost watery line, because they often doubled up with their block mascara as liner. Again, they would have used a block mascara at the time, but sometimes I still use a block mascara, which is readily available. And blusher or rouge onto the cheekbones. And the thing that really makes it a 40s look is when we add the lips.
Now I'm slowly taking the curlers out. Try not to drag too much. A little bit of serum on your hands always, it's a good thing. I start with the top. I don't brush at this stage, don't brush it all out for this look. I'm roughly putting the wave in at the top. As you can see, it sort of goes on its own really because it's been set in the right direction. So I put a little bit of backcombing at the roots. And take it back at the sides a little bit. And then this is when I back brush it. See, this is when the finger waving comes in. You push the waves in with your fingers. And if you brush back and then push forward, then you get your wave on top. I found a nice little slide for the side, a 1940s slide.
So I'm putting the lips in, just getting the shape with a lip pencil first, and this is key. It was this really, they actually overdrew the lips quite a lot in the 40s. If you look at images from the time, they really did overdraw the lips. But the main thing is to get the rounded shape, and you can do it by rounding from the corners of the mouth and taking it inwards. The other look that was, some people copied, it was really from Joan Crawford, was kind of a smear of lipstick across with hardly any dip in the middle, and that makes people look quite kind of mean. But I'm just going for a nice full rounded lip here in red. And popular brands were Max Factor, of course, Coty. I'm just going over this to make sure we've got that shape.
It's always best to finish after the makeup because you can see more what you're doing. So I'm just smoothing it out a little bit. Getting the wave, that little kicker will wave at the front. See what I'm doing? I'm pushing back and pulling forward.
Would that be quite a young girl style, Lou?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely a young girl style.
So there's a finished look, and again, really simple makeup wise, and but beautiful, and something girls could wear now.
Yeah,
definitely. It's like a young Catherine Hepburn.
Yeah.
I think.
Now look number 2. The back is basically the same, but I'll redo it again from the beginning. And so again, put a little bit of backcomb. It's same set, I haven't reset this, it's coming from the same one. So I'm trying to get a little bit more height on top, and I take the sides into it as I'm working. And as you can see, I'm combing up towards the top and backcombing. And then I wind it around my hand, you'll see in a moment. And taking it in a backward direction. And then you can wind it around your fingers. So if you keep your hand close to the head, you won't mess up your wave. And then if you just push forward, like I did there, once you push forward, you get the wave. And then you, see, I just did that around my thumb, didn't I? So just work it up towards the top with a few little curls. Do the same the other side. And again, take it up towards the top. Again, wind it around my fingers. If you keep your hand close to the head, you haven't got so far to go. And then you pin from the front, and always put your hair grip really up high, so therefore you don't actually see the grip.
And here I'm just going round the edges of the mouth to make sure they're sharp with a powder foundation. I'm just overdrawing the lips a bit more. But really the makeup didn't change as much as in the 40s as much as in some of the other decades, like the 60s, lots of different styles. It changed a bit, but you know, basically I think everybody can recognise the 40s makeup. Just keep it clean.
So there it is, quite simple, the waves are still there. And considering, you know, I had a different style before, there's still a lot of wave there. And this is style number 3, and the front is basically the same again, but we just tie it back. So we just, well, doing that one simple thing makes it look quite different, and we've added a period 1940s hair slide. And to do that top wave, always remember to brush back and push forward. Now this is another look. This one's lovely because it's got a nice twist at the back. It's sort of a bit like a figure of 8 with a bit of a difference really. Clip one side, you twist it around your finger, and you'll see more from this side how I've done it. And twist it round and pin it through. And that's where your pin curling comes into mode, because if you hadn't learned how to pin curl, you wouldn't be able to twist it around your finger like that.
This one I'm adding a little bit more shadow. It's a bit more of an evening look, I think. And I'm going to add some lashes. And I think one of the reasons I think people think they were flicks in the 40s is when you look at the images, especially the Hollywood images, they had these very long lashes that almost looped down and they looked like a flick, but actually it was just the lashes. And I'm just going over the line, but still not flicking it out.
I mean, from quite a simple style, isn't it? By just changing that back, it makes it look much more glamorous, and maybe for a slightly older woman as well.
It's beautiful, and you know, it's a red. You could wear that on the red carpet.
Yeah,
now,
you could. And this is another style again. So again, it's this. The front is very similar again, and I'm just twisting the back up and securing it with some hair grips. Always put a grip in first, and then with your pin you can secure it into your grip and it will stay there. But if you try to put your pin in without that grip there, it would slide off. It won't be so secure. So again, that pin curling comes into it, you put it around your fingers. And they used to use combs a lot. So you push your combs in really high, and it's all at the top of the head.
Yeah, makeup wise the same as we did before in the previous look. We kept those lips really rounded, slightly overdrawn, and the lashes to make it more glamorous.